Hi, I am Anna. I come from www.ntvforex.com. OANDA US data disappoints, EU virus surges, oil volatile, gold slumps analysis. http ntvforex.com news ID D76AE98 2020 25 28:56 p.m. U.S. stocks were initially weighed down after disappointing U.S. labor data, but refused to break as the divorce-bound relationship between the U.S. and China appears to be showing early signs of stabilizing. NBSP China has hinted hesitancy on striking back at U.S. companies following the Huawei sanctions, which is good news for tech heavyweights. NBSP The U.S. was also upbeat on China's commitment to delivering with their Phase 1 trade deal commitments. NBSP The love for technology stocks grew as the favorite pandemic plays, such as Apple and Tesla, saw strong demand. NBSP No one wants to short this market, so we are seeing investors just rotate back into technology stocks today. NBSP jobless claims. Philly Fed pressure is growing for Congress to get their act together after the first jobless claims report since the end of the Paycheck Protection Program saw an unexpected strong rise with initial jobless claims. NBSP The PPP stopped accepting applications on August 8 and undoubtedly put more strain on small businesses. NBSP Since late March, over 57 million Americans have filed for unemployment benefits. NBSP Initial jobless claims rose by 135,000 to more than 1.1 million, worse than the consensus estimate of 963,000. NBSP While continuing claims improved, the one-week lag will have investors anticipating next week's reading will rise. NBSP The pandemic emergency unemployment compensation is heavily being used and likely suggests the recovery has stalled. NBSP With most of the jobs lost stemming from the service sector, the outlook will deteriorate heading to winter for the outdoor dining, restaurants, travel, and leisure jobs. NBSP The Philly Fed business outlook added to the cloud of uncertainty. NBSP The second regional survey, following Empire Manufacturing Survey, showed strong declines with the outlook, new orders, and employment. NBSP Both Philadelphia and New York are well beyond their respective virus peaks in April, and the slowdown with the recent data is disheartening for the outlook for the rest of the country. NBSP EU virus European equities are getting hit hard as the coronavirus spread intensifies in Germany, Spain, and the UK. NBSP Germany and Spain's daily infection rate reached the highest levels since late April, while the UK infection rate rises by almost a third in 1 week. NBSP Europe's economic recovery will stall until the virus is back under control. NBSP The ECB's September meeting will likely see policymakers moderate to a more dovish stance. NBSP The euro was ready for a pullback and a deteriorating outlook will likely accelerate that. NBSP oil crude prices went on a wild ride, plummeting after disappointing labor data in the US and surging virus data in Europe suggested the economic recovery is stalling. NBSP crude demand outlooks will likely need strong downgrades if both Washington, D.C. fails to deliver adequate stimulus relief next month and if Europe struggles to contain the virus as holidaymakers return home. NBSP oil prices did not get any favors after Saudi Arabia, the world's largest oil exporter, posted the worst decline in exports since 2002. NBSP COVID-19 is stubbornly not going away, and this is starting to kill the global economic recovery, which will prevent oil-producing nations from ramping up production. Despite all the bearish headlines on economic angst, Europe's virus surge, and Saudi Arabia's decline with crude exports, oil prices are only down slightly. NBSP energy traders appear to be confident that OPEC will not continue to taper production cuts if the demand outlook diminishes. NBSP rising tensions in the Middle East region along with peak hurricane season are wildcards that could provide some massive disruptions with crude output. NBSP President Trump is maintaining a hard line against Iran again, and the latest U.S. energy agreements with Iraq will take away key revenue from Iran. NBSP The U.S. energy deal with Iraq is worth up to $8 billion, which will benefit Honeywell, Baker Hughes, GE, Stellar and Chevron. NBSP A couple tropical depressions in the Caribbean appear poised to strengthen and hit Florida and the Texas coastline. NBSP WTI crude also benefited from a positive incremental update with Pfizer and BioNTech favored COVID-19 vaccine, which is initially showing few side effects than their first vaccine. NBSP: a successful vaccine is what is needed to help the fuel demand recovery for oil prices. NBSP crude prices remain stuck in a range, and that seems that will be the case for the rest of summer. NBSP gold prices continue to consolidate as investors await to see if the weaker dollar trade will be abandoned for only a day or two. NBSP this week: global growth risks have intensified in Europe and the US, and that should keep demand relentless for bullion for the rest of the summer. NBSP: while we might see a tentative period of calm between the Americans and Chinese, election uncertainty and a deteriorating economic outlook in both the US and Europe will likely warrant greater fiscal and monetary stimulus in September. NBSP: gold's bullish trend might struggle to reassert itself in the immediate future, but investors have no worries that significantly higher prices are around the corner. NBSP gold's longer-term outlook will benefit from falling supplies due to weaker mine production, never-ending pandemic concerns, geopolitical risks, and weaker US dollar. NBSP. Subscribe our channel to receive the news as soon as possible. Thank you for watching. If you want to read real-time news, text messages to MT5 Expert Advisors page at https://m.me/mt5.expert.advisors.